blood, vomit, piss, and excrement. So happy to be able to be part of that. But I guess it's almost 10 years ago now that for Midnight Madness, we were very honored to unleash a new talent upon the world. And that was when we had the world premiere of Cabin Fever. A young man's career was launched there. No one knew who he was. It launched his career as not only a director, but now also as a producer. Incredibly talented young man. And he came to Toronto to work on a project this summer, and I was like, you know what, you're in town, do you want to do something? Do you want to, I don't know, watch a movie? Let's watch how about this? Do you want to watch a movie with an audience and you pick the movie? And this is the beloved film he picked, Cannibal Ferox. Let's hear it for the director of Cabin Fever, Hostel, producer of The Last Exorcism, Eli Roth.
How you guys doing? All right. This is exciting. Welcome, welcome. First of all, Toronto does feel like a second home to me because I do feel like my career was born here. I remember literally carrying the 35mm print of Cabin Fever back in the days when film prints existed. And, you know, I came off the plane and we showed it at Midnight Madness and I went home like the hero of the festival. And thank God, because literally Sam Fralick and other producers would have lost their houses had we not actually sold the movie. But it all worked out, and I'm happy to be back here. I've been in town shooting for this new show for Netflix. I'm really excited. Yes, I shot the first episode. I'm in the editing room now. It's really cool. Ron Sanders, who's Cronenberg's editor, is cutting my episode. So I've literally been editing in David Cronenberg's editing room, which is too cool. Because there's like scanners, posters, video jumpers, and I told him, I was like, oh my God, scanners, that's like the best poster ever. I remember I clipped it out of the newspaper when I was a kid. I was so freaked out. And he's like, take it. I'm like, I can't take your scanner. It's like Cronenberg scanners poster. I'm not taking that. He's like, no. He's like, I got another one. It's like, I've looked at that like 30 years. Take it. It's yours. So I now have like his editor's scanners poster. So that's pretty much all I need in life. So I'm going to retire. So when Colin said to me, would you like to program film? I'm actually about to go into Peru this fall and shoot my next feature, which is a film called The Green Inferno. And this sort of thing, someone slipped out that it does involve, it's very much inspired. It's an original script, but it is certainly in the tradition of the great cannibal movies of the 70s from Italy. Now, how many people here, and it's okay if you haven't, it's good to know, have never seen Cannibal Ferox, a.k.a. Make Them Die Slowly? Oh, fantastic. Good, a virgin audience. You are in for a treat. There was a great, it took me about 10 years to decipher this, but there was a great sort of cannibal movie war between two directors, Umberto Lenzi and Ruggero Deodato. And it's sort of like people would go, you know, Saw versus Hostel. Like, fans like to fight horror movies, like the way Godzilla fights King Kong or the Smog Monster. I remember it's like Cabin Fever versus May, or like, I don't know, every movie I've made has fought another movie. It's like on message boards. But back in 1972, Umberto Lenzi, who's made some amazing, amazing films with Carol Baker, he made crime films. This was when directors were doing like 4 or 5 movies a year. He also did a movie called City of the Walking Dead, which you might know, which is ironic because it's actually the first movie with running zombies. Yet it's called City of the Walking Dead. But it was originally called Nightmare City. So Cannibal Ferox, basically in 1972, he made a movie called Man from Deep River, which is a terrific, terrific kind of jungle adventure movie. Yeah, and there's a, thank you for me, the only people that have seen Man from Deep River. But they're all out on DVD, no shame, re-release them. But there's a scene involving cannibals in Man from Deep River. And so after that, like, people went crazy for this scene, so some producer was like, why don't we do basically a whole movie of this? And they brought Lenzi a script called Last Cannibal World, Ultimo Mondo Cannibale. And yeah, of course, the other person who's seen that movie. And they went to Lenzi and asked if he wanted to direct it. And Lenzi said no, he wasn't interested, he'd kind of already done that. So Ruggero Deodato, who had been the assistant director to Roberto Rossellini, and in Italy, the system was that when you're an AD, you then become a director. It's different now, but so he really studied Italian, Italian neorealism and just brought that aesthetic to the cannibal genre. So he makes Last Cannibal World. It does well, and they go, well, do you want to do another one? And for like $200,000, he makes a movie called Cannibal Holocaust, and it's like an infamous. It's known as the mother of all cannibal movies. It's like it's the one. In fact, I put him as a cannibal client in Hostel 2. The guy eating someone is the Cannibal Holocaust. So I've been obsessed with that movie. I directed Hostel 2 in a Cannibal Holocaust t-shirt. But after Cannibal Holocaust came out and it was such a huge hit, Umberto Lenzi's like, motherfucker, I started this, and now this, the Italians are very competitive. He's like, this, Coxa, he's this, son of a bitch, he's getting all the credit. So I'm gonna come out and make a movie. And he makes Cannibal Ferox. And he even goes so far as to put like actors from Cannibal Holocaust in it, like just to prove a point. And of course, people watch Cannibal Ferox and they're like, well, it's not as good as Cannibal Holocaust. So then he makes him even crazier, and then he makes Mangiati Vivi, which is Eaten Alive, which is another one. So then the French started ripping them off with Cannibal Terror, and then Cannibals in the Streets, and Cannibal Apocalypse, with Margaret. So it becomes this wave where basically distributors would change the name